All right. Says we're live. We're live. Hello,
Hey!
everybody. Oh yeah, I'm just waiting for my chat box to show up. But any girls are in the house.
Hey,
That just sounds.
everybody!
God, that. Oh, that did not. No, that did not sound right. All right, everybody who's already been waiting here, because I know some of you were already here before. Hey guys, welcome to me and Shay's very, very first Senshi Annie Girls podcast. Oh, it's so exciting. And I know I announced this podcast, our very first one, on short notice, so I do apologize. But I'm going to be hosting this wonderful podcast with the lovely Shay from Anime Review Girl. She's a very good blogger and YouTube friend of mine. Say hello, Shay, even though some people are...
Hey! Hey, everyone!
Yes, and all the links to our social media and stuff you got will be in the description down below, but I haven't put half of it down there yet if you guys want to follow us and that. And this is all really, really exciting. It is. And also we're going to be in this podcast, we're just going to be kind of introducing ourselves. Obviously, for those who know us, they know us. And we're going to be I'm going to be talking a bit about how the podcast came about. And also we're going to be mainly, our topic for our first podcast is going to be on how we got into anime, not anime beginnings. So we're going to be going through some very iconic kind of animes that people would have grown up with. And we're going to be talking about them a little bit individually. So it's all really exciting. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it. So to start off with, I'm going to get Shay to introduce herself about what she does here in the anime, YouTube, and blogging community. Take it away, Miss Shay.
Hey, everybody! My name is Shay. That's what I go by, and I also go by Anime Reviewer Girl. And pretty much what I do on YouTube and on my blog is I post pretty much anime discussions, anything that I can think of off of the top of my head, anything from something that's interesting or something that catches my eye that's in the news, or even just something as simple as like my top 5 favorites or something. And then I also post reviews on anime, manga, also on video games, and I've even kind of branched out to comic books as well.
Awesome. And if you guys are not even following Shay, you better get your asses and go follow her, definitely. She does some awesome stuff. And I don't ever really feel like introducing myself because most of everyone that's already here right now knows what I do. But for those who don't know, I'm Lita. I'm known as Lita Kino. I know it sounds like kind of obvious name. It is obviously named after Sailor Jupiter. It is because I'm obsessed with her and everyone's come to know me as Lita. And I'm classed as, I guess you could say, like a casual YouTuber, and I also run an anime blog, which is called Lita Kino Anime Corner. It's more of a personal kind of blog. And my YouTube, I do a lot of anime related content. I recently got better internet, and now I'm able to do a lot more video content, which is really exciting. So pretty much I'm very, very wacky and eccentric in my videos. So I just do a lot of kind of like anime thoughts, just talk about different anime, and hoping to do a lot more discussions. And I like doing tag videos. So people can feel free to follow me or Shay if they really want to. And yeah, this whole podcast thing is completely new, added on to my already of what I do now. Excuse me, guys. Sorry if I cough. I'm still recovering from a really 2-week bad cold. It's not good to do this on your first podcast. But so I guess everyone's wondering of how this whole podcast thing kind of came about. Really, I'd seen like other YouTubers that I talk with and associate with. They made their own kind of podcast together. There is the Otaku A Team, and there is also another one called Shoujo Cast, and gave me the idea that I really wanted to do my very own. And of course, I didn't want to do it alone because, you know, sitting there talking by yourself can get very lonesome. It can. So, which is why I asked Shay if she wanted to be a part of this, and I'm so glad that she said yes. And the only difficult factor of all of this is just, you know, I think the only restraint is obviously time zones and stuff. But you know what, you can easily like work around that. But yeah, so, and coming up with the name was pretty easy since we both really love Sailor Moon, and Shay just really, really loved the name, didn't you?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I loved it.
It was like the first, seriously, Senshi Annie Girls was the first name I suggested to her, and she's like, "Oh, that's it. That's gonna be our name." I'm like, "Oh, I had like a bunch of other names suggested, which I can't even remember. Who were gonna? What was? I think one of them I had written down was like Annie Blogger Girls, but then I thought, no, that doesn't really speak out about us, not really. And I just thought, yeah, Senshi Annie Girls says a whole lot. It does.
Yes.
And yeah, I don't believe there's a lot of podcasts involving a lot of like female like anime YouTubers as well. Because I listen personally to a lot of podcasts with a lot of guys in it and maybe like one girl. So this is going to be, you know, female power, female YouTube power. So
Yeah.
so with our podcast, like with our schedule arrangement, it's kind of all like all over the place right now because obviously, you know, real lives and stuff, and we'll probably, I'm not sure if it's going to be weekly or every fortnightly at the moment. Everything's kind of up in the air, but we just kind of have to work it around our schedules at the moment. But definitely we'll let you guys know about that, definitely. And as for what is going to be talked about on this podcast, obviously it's going to be about anime, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Each session we're going to have something completely different to talk about. Like one episode we might say we're going to both watch an anime we've never seen before, and then we might discuss that. And obviously we'll discuss about like anime films, like manga. You guys know the gist. You know what we'll be talking about on our podcast, so I feel like I don't have to fully say. So yeah, that is just a brief background on how all of this came to be. So So I guess we'll get to the main gist of what our first podcast is going to be about today, which is how me and Shay got into anime and our anime beginnings.
Yep.
So I'm gonna get Shay to talk about how she first got into anime herself, like what was the first anime that she watched. So I'm gonna let you take it away, Shay.
Okay. So for me, the very first anime I watched was Sailor Moon, and I was 6 years old, and I would come home from school every day, and I would literally, my grandparents would pick me up, and I would sit in front of the TV and eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and watch. Yes, and
I don't like PB and J. Like
no, I'm not a big fan of jelly anymore, so I mostly eat peanut butter sandwiches, which my mom very much calls choker sandwiches because they're thick, so you gotta drink some when you eat them.
I like jelly sandwiches. I like
Jelly
eating.
sandwiches?
Yeah, I've had jelly sandwiches when I was a kid, and I liked also eating jam sandwiches a lot.
I've never had those, but as a kid, I did call peanut butter and jelly sandwiches just jelly sandwiches, but I meant to put but you have to put peanut butter on them. But that's what I refer to them as.
Oh no, not peanut butter. Oh no, I'm sorry. For anyone that doesn't like peanut butter, I'm not a lover of it.
Oh,
No.
I love it.
Sorry.
It's okay. But I started out watching Sailor Moon, and that was the first anime that I watched. And then from there, it kind of went to Pokemon and Dragon Ball Z. My brother was actually a bigger fan of Dragon Ball Z than I was, and I would only watch it because he would watch it, and that was when Dragon Ball Z would come on really early in the morning before we had school. And then since he watched it, I was kind of forced to watch it, and then after watching it, I then started to like it. And then from there, it kind of took off, although I'm not going to lie, I did take a break from watching anime kind of for a little bit when I got older, until Toonami came out, and I became re-immersed in trying to watch Dragon Ball Z again. And then from there, I started watching Yu Yu Hakusho and Rurouni Kenshin. And then when Toonami came on later on in the evenings, I watched Inuyasha. And I had a lot of breaks when I was in school from watching anime. So when I got in high school, I stopped watching it for a while until I wanted to re-watch Yu Yu Hakusho and Rurouni Kenshin from the beginning to end to figure out how it ended. And then from there, rewatched Inuyasha, and then from there just kind of kept going.
I personally never had Toonami a lot when I was younger. It would only appear on I think my TV once a week, my actual satellite TV. So I could only watch Toonami I think once a week on one day. It was I lived for those days. I think it was on a Friday, I remember. It's where it was only on another channel like Cartoon Network. I'd be watching like Dragon Ball Z and stuff during the week. So, I'd get up at like 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock in the morning so I could watch it. And then my dad recently made a confession that he used to stand near the door while I was watching it, and he'd be watching it also. So, because he randomly said at dinner the other day, like, "Oh yeah, I'll remember Goku turning Super Saiyan," and I'm just like, "What? When did you watch that?" And he's like, "Oh, I watched it. I used to stand behind you near the doorway, and I used to watch the episode." I'm like, "Oh, so technically you're with me. You could have come and like sat down on the sofa and stuff." And no, he wanted to just silently watch it. And so my dad was so fully aware of a lot of Dragon Ball Z knowledge that I didn't even really think he would even know. So, oh god, that was hilarious. He just randomly said that the other day. So, but I don't have Toonami where I live now. So, I miss Toonami, but I'm glad like recently they're like bringing some like shows like One Punch Man and like Gundam back on Toonami recently, which is really good to see. But I don't have it where I live. So, yeah, I'm sure you're really excited about that, aren't you?
I am, but I haven't watched Toonami in a while because I no longer have cable, so I mostly watch everything via my Apple TV. But thankfully, I have like my subscription to Crunchyroll, and of course, Hulu and Netflix has tons of anime on there as well that I also watch. And of course, I also have a subscription with Funimation on their website to watch anime. So I have a lot.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of that at the moment. I haven't subscribed to like anything because I couldn't before, and now I'm like thinking about like subscribing to Crunchyroll really at the moment. So it's so exciting that I know I can now. So then it's going to be like I have all this now. I'm going to have all this anime to pick from and watch. So so I guess I'll give a brief about how I got into anime. I don't think I've ever actually really gone into like much detail about it. And I'm seeing in the chats a few animes that have been brought up, like Tokyo Mew Mew. Oh God, I used to have the first 2 single volumes of that series. I bought them for like 5 because I used to live in the UK, and they were like £5 back then. So, and I got them both for £10. And I rewatched the hell out of those 2 single volumes of Tokyo Mew Mew. So I've not seen the whole series. I was really interested in it. I was really, really interested in it. I was. But well, like when you're younger, you don't know like, shows like Sailor Moon, Dragon Ball Z. You don't know back then that they're called anime. you just think they're just cool cartoons. And I think I started watching it. It's really hard to pinpoint an age for me. I think it was about 10 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I think the very first fully show I got into, I think, was actually Yu-Gi-Oh! Before Sailor Moon and Dragon Ball Z. It was Yu-Gi-Oh!
Wow.
Me. And then it was later on after that that I started getting into Sailor Moon and Dragon Ball Z, because it was showing on, I think, Toonami and Cartoon Network. And there was another show, because I'm not from, because I'm not from like Australia, because I actually live in Australia now. I moved countries, and this is I'm talking about when I used to live in England. We had crappy TV. Oh my god, cable. No. Yeah, from there, my growth, my love for it actually was starting to kind of. I was losing my love for those kind of cartoons when I got around to the age of, I think, 14. But I have a confession to make. Obviously, I used to role play a lot of characters on this site called Bebo. So, like, I used to role play different characters with other people.
Wow.
Yes, nothing like dark or sexual, just for the record. Okay, like, it was just like I was like role playing like fights and stuff like that. It was, oh my god, it was those were some funny memories, they were. And then I didn't really get as obsessed as I am into anime until I moved to Australia when I was about 15. And that's when I first saw my very first anime, which is an old friend that introduced me to it, which was Angelic Layer. So that's my first introduction into clamp works. And yeah, I'll probably rewatch that anime probably like 8 times. Have you seen Angelic Layer, Shay?
I have not seen that anime.
It is one of Clamp's older works, but it's just really heartwarming. It is. And I think from there was when after I watched Angelic Layer, I then I got really excited, because I remember when I first met my friend, she told me she had the entire Sailor Moon collection. I think my eyes fell out of my sockets, I think, because I couldn't believe it. And I remember the next, I think when she told me that day, the next day I slept over a house and we marathoned the shit out of it. So it was great. I'd never seen all of the Sailor Moon in my life. And ever since then, I just kept saying to her, I want more. What other shit have you got? And then after that, it was introduction into Inuyasha and then Full Metal Panic. And from there, it just kind of grew. So that's how I kind of like fully got into anime. I did fully then. Back when when I was 10, between the ages of 10 and 14, doesn't really count to me. Not until I moved countries. So, but yeah. So, and I see a lot of people having a discussion about Yu-Gi-Oh and stuff in the chat right now.
It took me a while to get into Yu-Gi-Oh, I'll be honest. As a kid, my cousins were obsessed with the trading card game for Yu-Gi-Oh, and they would also watch the show when it came on WB Kids. If anyone remembers when that used to come on like in the afternoons.
Yes.
And right? And my cousins were literally obsessed with the game, and I only knew of the Dark Magician and Blue Eyes White Dragon. Those are the only cards I knew about, and those are the only cards I ever wanted whenever they would try to get me to play the game. And as far as the show is concerned, I would watch episodes here and there, but I didn't understand the entire concept, but I really thought it was really cool. And I didn't actually watch the entire actual first season of that show until I was in college. And I would say probably in like my 3rd, maybe 4th year of college, I decided to just watch it and marathon it. And I loved it. I haven't seen the other seasons just because I know it's not the same characters, but I do know there's one season where I absolutely loved the opening theme song. But that's how for me, that was my introduction into Yu-Gi-Oh. But I thought Yu-Gi-Oh was pretty cool.
Yeah, I feel the same. Like Yami ended up becoming like a crush. He became one of my first anime crushes. And I'm not ashamed to admit that. I still kind of have a crush on him, but like I think I rewatched an episode of Yu-Gi-Oh quite recently, actually, just randomly on, and I realized that Yami's voice during the English dub for the 4 Kids one was very deep voice. It almost sounded like he wasn't a child. It wouldn't sound like it wasn't a child. It sounded like more of an adult. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh god. So it sounds a little creepy to me when I watched that episode.
I was more of that his voice was so deep.
Yeah, I thought the voice wasn't actually quite fitting, thinking about it, for Yami now. I mean, Yugi was, his voice was fitting for the dub and stuff, but Yami's voice was a bit too deep. And I don't know, you don't notice, it's always funny, you don't notice this kind of things until like you get older and you rewatch stuff and you're like, oh god, why did I think his voice was sexy when I was 12?
Right? Trust me, I definitely understand it. When it came to Yu-Gi-Oh, I liked more so I more so liked Kaiba, Seto Kaiba in the
Oh,
series. Even though he was a total bad guy and he like totally, you know, I don't know, he was a total bad guy in the show and a total bad boy. So I was like, that was the one I really, really liked. And I was just like, I like him.
Of course, I really, like anyone else, I started like hating on him big time. But you know, you do see a change in him through the course of the original like Yu-Gi-Oh series and stuff. But yeah, I used to hate him, and now I kind of like Seto Kaiba, and I got to meet the voice actor who does the English dub for Kaiba. Oh my god, why can't I remember his name? This was like the year before, I reckon it was. I went to a convention in Melbourne and he was there and he was so nice. He was. And he it was, and yeah, he was just lovely. He was. And this, I remember this one little kid that was in the line, and I remember this person pushed in front of him, and I was fuming, and I was about to say something, and the voice actor, he walks over, and he walks over to the kid, and then he gives like a little look to the person that just budged in front of him, and then he brings him to the front and gives him like a free poster and all these little goodies. And the kid was only about like 7 or 8, and he was just so sweet. It was. I thought, oh yeah, good on you, mate. I thought, oh yeah, yes. Devon, thank you for reminding me. It is Eric Stewart. Yes. Yeah, Eric was awesome. And that was a nice memory. That was, he just gave all these kids this, like, all these free autograph, everything, and the kid was so happy. Walked away happy. And I thought, you stingy person in the front. So yeah. Oh no, that's all right. You go ahead.
Were you ever a fan of Digimon? Because I know for me, there was, when Pokemon was out, there was always this huge versus of which is better, Digimon or Pokemon. And for me, I was a total Pokemon kid. Like I was down for Pokemon. Digimon, I didn't really like. I wasn't a huge fan of it. And the only thing that bugged me so much about Digimon is that all of the Digimon's names ended in Mon, and I didn't get it. And I didn't. That's the only thing I hated. I was just like, oh my god, all their names end in Mon. Like, I don't like this. But I would kind of watch the show as a kid, but I didn't get it entirely wholly into it. And I didn't really start to enjoy the show until they came out with Digimon, the first movie, when I was like 9 or 10 years old. And I actually have that movie on VHS. For those of you guys who are younger, VHS was a tape, literally a tape. It wasn't a disc, and you had to put into the VCR and force it to rewind, force it to fast forward. And if sometimes what would happen is it would break in your VCR and the tape would be everywhere, and there was no way to, you know,
oh my God.
get this video.
I can't tell you how many times my parents had to how many times my dad had to fix it whenever the tape would get ruined. There was this one particular tape
Yep.
where I recorded a whole bunch of like Digimon and stuff, because I couldn't, at the time you couldn't get it anywhere on DVD from like when I was in England and stuff. And that one tape would just always fail me. But sometimes Dad would always, you just always know how to fix it. And VHS tapes, you know, they could be worth something later in the future. Like, you really never know.
You really never know. But that for me was when I finally got into Digimon. Like, not got into it, but appreciated it.
Do you still have them?
My VHS tapes or my Digimon VHS tapes?
I still have. VHS?
Oh, I have tons of VHS tapes. I don't have them with me. My mom has all my VHS tapes, and I'm meaning like my Digimon VHS tapes, all my Disney VHS tapes, like before they went to the Disney Vault.
Oh, wow.
I have so many. I have the Pokemon movies on VHS. Like, I'm talking about Pokemon, the first movie, Pokemon 2000, and Pokemon, the third one. But I was actually grateful enough to actually find Pokemon, the first movie, on DVD. And I was like, oh, I am going to watch this and reminisce about when I dragged my parents to go see this movie 3 times.
Oh, yeah. You have, you've talked about that in a video, but I can't remember what video it was that you were talking about it in. Which one was it? Do you remember which one it was?
Oh, when I talked about my parents taking me to go see that movie.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. It had to be something with me discussing Pokemon. So I can't off the top of my head remember what video that was. I've recorded a lot now. So I can't even remember the actual what video it was, but I do know I did discuss, and I think I discussed like when it came out and my experience when it came out. Yeah. Oh, those were good times. Now I'm nostalgic about that. I think
this whole thing's just gonna bring, it is just gonna bring nostalgia. It did.
Yeah, I've discussed it with my coworkers at work, and we were talking about when Pokemon the first movie came out, and I was like, that was the only time I think I became a Burger King kid, because I was a McDonald's kid for a long time. Like, I love McDonald's. I still kind of do, even though I haven't eaten it. But if anyone remembers when Pokemon the first movie came out, Burger King got all the toys, and the only way to get the toys was to go to Burger King. And that's when I became obsessed with going to Burger King as a kid, and to the point where so many people would go to Burger King for these toys that at one point my local Burger King had put up a sign that said, we do not have any more Pokemon toys, because they ran out. And they also had where if you paid extra money, you would get the Pokeball that inside had like a gold plated card or something like that of certain Pokemon that you could purchase. And I wanted it so bad, not for the gold plated thing, but for the Pokeball, so I could throw it at stuff and pretend to be a Pokemon trainer.
Oh, if only you had that now, because of the Pokemon Go app and everything. And you know, I know someone who does that, like while they're like walking around searching for Pokemon, they take a little Pokeball thing that they've had since they were like 10, and there's like a little Pokemon inside it, and every time they come across a Pokemon, she said to me the other day, she always throws her little toy one as she's trying to catch the Pokemon on the phone. I'm like,
that is awesome. For me, as a kid, I remember my stepsister used to get so mad at me as a kid because we would play every kid would play house or whatever, and they're like, oh, who's the mom, the dad, or whatever, and I would be like, okay, well, I'm gonna be a Pokemon trainer. Like, that was my go-to as a kid. And the best part was I had the little stuffed Pikachu that when you pressed its hands, it would say Pikachu, and its little cheeks would light up and its ears would move. And I had that.
Oh, really? I've only got like a Pikachu plushie that I've had since I was like about 9 or 10. My parents bought it me, and it only makes like a Pikachu noise. I remember we had that sort of thing when I was younger, and I begged my parents that I really wanted it, and of course they wouldn't let me have it.
Oh, I remember I had mine and I dragged that thing everywhere. Like it started out yellow, and then by the time, like, I still have it. It doesn't work. Like, I've tried putting batteries in it. Its ear is torn, and I've dragged that thing around so much. It is now a dingy gray. It is nowhere near yellow.
Shay is not very good at taking care of things.
I was 9 or 10 at the time, so that thing got dragged everywhere. But my Pikachu had, but that Pikachu toy though had the time of its life because it got dragged to Vegas when I was 9. So it saw Vegas. So it had some adventures.
Oh well, my Pikachu plushie is still in good nick. It's pretty much in good nick since the day I got it. I think all it needs is like a new battery, and it'll still say Pikachu. So it was still like that. Oh, it's actually on my bed right now. I'm looking at it across the room. It's telling me Shay is a very bad Pikachu owner.
See, I would be a better Pikachu owner if they would re-release that toy and for me to get it, and it would probably stay yellow because I'm not going to be dragging it everywhere. Because as a kid, it was my toy. I dragged that thing everywhere. It was my comfort object. Like,
did it have a name, or you just called it Pikachu?
I called it Pikachu because I was just like, me giving it any other name would not do it justice. So its name was Pikachu. Its name.
Since we're on the topic of Pokemon anyway, I'm guessing I cannot remember for the life of me. Are you playing the new Pokemon app?
Yes, dear Lord, yes. I literally yesterday went out with my cousin. My cousin decided came out to see me, and he was like, "What do you want to do?" And I was like, "Let's get something to eat." And I was like, "And then can we go Pokemon hunting?" That was literally what I wanted to do, and that is what we did. And I walked around and caught Pokemon, and that we had a blast. And I've gone out with my friends to go catch Pokemon. At my job, we're all playing it like crazy. And
of course.
Working. Yes, working and playing Pokemon at the same time. But it's so much fun, and I love it. I just love the game. But I told people before that when you're out and about and someone or a group of people are playing Pokemon on their phones, because you can tell because of how they're walking, and you can see them swiping, and you're just like, you're totally playing Pokemon.
Like then of the hand motion, like obviously when they flick up and stuff. Or like I just get battered about that game at the moment from my coworkers because they I really like say get battered, but they're like, so have you played Pokemon Go for a while? I'm like, no, I haven't played it for probably like about a week now. Everyone's like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, nothing. It's just like around my area, there is hardly any Pokestops, and the same bloody sand shrews and bloody mankeys just appear everywhere. And I'm like, I don't want any more mankeys and sand shrews. And I personally, I guess, don't go out of my way to like go driving and like stop somewhere and then go walk around and then get back in my car. Like, I don't like personally have anyone to kind of go out with and do that sort of thing with. So I just kind of play it like when I'm out and about and stuff now. Yeah. And everyone's like a level above me. I'm only on like 7, and everyone else is like already on like level 20s and stuff, and I'm just the odd one out. Like, I don't really care if I'm like the odd one out. But,
I'll be honest, I do get out and walk around sometimes to catch Pokemon, but it depends on where I'm at. Sometimes I'm too lazy. So if I'm at home, at times I will just look at my phone, see what's near me, and then in my head I go, do I really want to go find this? And then I wait, and I'm like, maybe it'll just come closer and I don't have to go anywhere. That's my thinking. I have, though, been one to venture out at like midnight to try and catch a Clefairy because I wanted it. And then when I was outside at midnight and I'm hearing all these noises, I was like, nope, I'm going inside. I'm not doing this tonight.
I can,
Um,
yeah, I can totally understand that. Like, but like where I live, I kind of live like around a wetlands area, so
mhm.
there's always quite a few like water Pokemon hanging around. I haven't seen a Vaporeon yet, and
No.
not yet, but I really want to Jolteon, not Vaporeon so much. And yeah, there's just hardly like anything around my area. Like I said, I really only play it when like I'm out and about. But it's funny at work, right? My workplace is a gym, so like my other work colleagues are always they're always playing the game and trying to win back their gym because someone nearly every time we come to work somebody's already overtaken it, which is hilarious.
That's how it is at
uh
my job. There's a gym near my job, like super close. And everyone in my store is like battling at that gym. And some of them keep a hold of it for a pretty long time. So it's kind of cool. Um, I think like yesterday I went and when I was with my cousin, I actually caught a war turtle.
oh, you got
And
a oh my god.
yeah.
Oh, I remember when it was the convention weekend a couple of weeks ago. I went out on Saturday night searching, and what me and my friend were searching for was a freaking war turtle. Like the whole time, like running around she lives kind of near like the beach and stuff, so running around up and down the sand, up and down the beach and stuff. And she's like diving on the floor, like, ah, I've got one, I've got one, I've got one. I'm like, wait, no, it's just a weedle. Oh god, 2 hours in the
Oh.
2 hours in the cold is not fun looking for a war turtle. Don't do it, people.
Yeah, don't. But I think I know a lot of people, they've given Pokemon Go a little bit of some slack, and I think mostly because of the aspect of some people haven't been the most uh aware of their surroundings while playing it. Like I'm sure many of us have heard things of people getting hit by cars. I think there was even a video I saw of someone playing Pokemon Go and driving. And please don't do that. If you're driving and you're playing Pokemon Go, don't do it, please, because I don't want anybody to get in an accident.
Well, of course, I think it's just, common sense, and obviously it's people's choice, and it's just human stupidity, really. It is
Yeah.
they want to drive and play Pokemon Go. I mean, it works if you're just not even. I mean, like I know my work colleague, she goes out driving with her sister. Actually holding she's actually holding the phone and stuff, and they stop somewhere, they search around, and then like get back in the car. But it's not
See,
like,
that's a safe way to do it. But I've seen people who like will play it while driving. Like there was a video, I don't know if anybody else has seen this video, where this man is playing Pokemon Go and he hits a police car while driving. And I'm just like, you're an idiot. But it was funny. I
yeah,
mean, it was funny to watch the video. I'm not gonna lie. I cracked up laughing watching the video.
yeah,
But I mean, it's things like that.
yeah, people just, it's just so natural that I knew when this app would come out, people would just take the level of human stupidity to the next level. It's always like that with anything like to do with apps or something like that.
Yeah.
It's just down to personal choice. I personally don't find anything wrong with the app at all. I think it's just something fun to have. It is something fun to have with, and it's been of great benefit to all those people. Personally, quite a few people who don't like exercise a lot and that sort of thing, and the app's just gone and made them go out and they're walking around and stuff. And now I know someone who just doesn't even play it while they're exercising now. Just go for morning walks like every day. So, it's not an app that's meant to be blown out of proportion. It's something really fun to have with, and it's great that all this old nostalgia for Pokemon is like returned and stuff. This anime, Pokemon's been around for 2 decades.
I
2 decades.
know. It's been
About it.
around for a long time. And I think one of the things that I've noticed is that I've seen like younger kids play it. I've seen older kids play it. I've seen, even older like adults play it. Like I'm talking people who are in like their 30s, their 40s, 50s, older, who have this app on their phone and they're playing it and they find it fun. And I think it's because it is so interactive and it gets people to talk to other people, and that you're out and about, you're walking around, and that's the one things that I've noticed with this app. the weirdest thing though is when I come across people who are much younger than me who don't play, and they're just like, oh, the people find it so nostalgic because they're playing this game. I'm just like, oh my god, you make me feel so old because you weren't even alive. Like, you were alive when this came out, but then you're not old enough to like remember when this was like at its peak, because I think Pokemon still kind of has its peak, but it's not as much as at its peak as it was when I was younger, at least from my thinking, if that makes sense. But I feel like now with this game has came out, I feel like it's like skyrocketed, because I know a lot of people talk about how Nintendo's stock went up so much when this game came out because so many people were downloading this game. I mean, even when the first day that the app came out, I know definitely for the US, servers were going down like crazy. My friends and I were constantly having to relog back in, or we couldn't get in. We always got the servers were down. One of my friends got the whole thing where they were like, you can't even sign up for it at the moment because it had so many things going on. And I was just like, this app has literally taken over the world. And my whole thinking was like, it's a little nerd dream come true of mine that I finally get to become a Pokemon trainer, which I've been trying to be for 20 years. Or like, well, maybe not 20 years, but for a while.
Okay, probably not for 20. Okay, maybe the last 10 years. Say the last 10 years, everyone's just wanted to be like
I'll give him 18 because I was like 9 years old when I started watching it. So I'll give it about 16, 17 years, because since I was 9, I've been wanting to be a Pokemon trainer. And now that little dream has came true. Now all I need though is the Pokemon trainer hat so I can wear it at work.
Well, you could
turn it backwards.
I mean, I'm making my own at the moment. So like I'm kind of in the process of making my own Pokemon hat at the moment. Yay! Go nerds!
Right? Like, I want to just turn my hat backwards like Ash Ketchum while I'm trying to catch a Pokemon.
Yes. Oh my god. All right. Here's a question for you, since we're on the on Pokemon actually. One of them is like, what? This is probably be a hard one, but I have an answer for this. What is one of your favorite Pokemon episodes from any of the Pokemon series?
Any of the Pokemon series, my favorite Pokemon episode. Oh my god, favorite one. Oh man. Okay, so I have a favorite episode, but then I also have a favorite season, if that's okay to also use.
Talking about nostalgia and stuff.
So like my favorite Pokemon episode has to be, just because it was so sad, was Pikachu's goodbye. That was probably one of my favorite episodes, just because I honestly, as a kid, thought Pikachu was gonna leave. I was like, oh, my heart, my soul.
That's a classic. That's a classic one.
That one was, but my other favorite though was my favorite like seasons though was probably when it was Ash, Misty, and Tracy for the Orange Islands for the Johto season. Was probably one of my favorites.
I love that. I loved it. I loved it that the mode of transport was Lapras. Oh,
that's what I loved. That's what I love so much, and I don't know why, but I just liked that three trio together. Like, I don't before I get all the booze and the tomatoes being thrown at me, I do indeed love Brock. Okay, I loved Brock. Okay, Brock is the original, the original one.
It's like slanty eye man, where he doesn't really have eyes.
Right, like that was, and he was the character that my parents worried about the most. Because they were just like, does he have eyes? Like, I'm confused. Are his eyes closed? Can he see? And I'm just like, yeah. But that one was was also one of my favorite seasons, just because I did like that trio of them together. Because Tracy was a different concept when he was brought in, because he wasn't someone who really caught Pokemon and battled. Like, he drew them. And I loved that. I was like, he draws Pokemon. That's awesome.
It seems that I'm looking in the chat and people are saying that all the episodes that seem to be coming up that are memorable are sad ones where Pokemon are leaving, like he mentioned about Charizard.
Yeah,
leaving
or
in the
even
valley. I'm like, oh
Butterfree.
God.
And
Yes,
when
yes,
Butterfree
Butterfree
left,
was mentioned.
when
And he says
Butterfree left,
he's thrown a tomato at you, Shay.
oh, why? Why? Oh no.
Devon, meanie Devon. No,
No, don't go to
he's
the
all right. Not everybody likes the same thing. That's fine. He can throw tomatoes at me if you want to. That's fine.
Oh.
But yeah, I know there's so many Pokemon episodes, like so many out there. It'd be really, really hard to pinpoint like specific ones. I have quite a few favorites. That's because I have too of a good a memory, I think. um, I'll just mention. I'll just only mention a couple because I've got too many. I think one of the ones was when Ash was battling. He was battling. Was it the Pokemon competition? Oh my god, why can't I remember what it's called? Oh, I have been such a Pokemon fan for so long. Why can't I remember? Is it? Was it the Indigo League? That was it. The Indigo. Yeah, when he was at the Indigo Plateau and he was battling, I can't remember what other Pokemon it was, but he had his Krabby. And I remember that battle just gut wrenched me. It did. And I got so excited when finally Krabby evolved into Kingler. And and then after he evolved, I thought him and Ash were just so badass, and I thought that was one of my favorite Pokemon battles. It was. I just felt so sorry for Krabby, and when he evolved, I got so excited. I did. And what was and one other episode was when I think it was one to do with Brock, and he was obviously in the series, he wanted to learn more about Pokemon breeding and like, you know, Pokemon nutrition and that sort of thing. And the guys came across like a hair salon where there was a Vulpix, and she was like a star Pokemon, like to do with nutrition and like having a good, like, you know, shiny coat, that sort of thing. And I remember when Team Rocket were coming, they wanted to steal Vulpix. And I remember when Vulpix got, I don't know if you remember this, but I remember when Vulpix got so angry. And yeah, I remember when he or she, there was this moment where the hairdresser they were going to battle, and Vulpix just let out this massive ember attack. And I loved the moment, the music. It was great. I loved that episode. It was funny. And Brock, obviously, with his ladies, so many ladies that he loved. It was great. So
Yes.
yeah, you probably can tell, like, I get excited when, like, Pokemon evolve. How can anybody not get excited?
I do too.
So,
I think another episode I just thought of that I also really liked is the episode when Ash and Pikachu had to get their the lightning badge.
yes,
And when Ash was trying to think of whether or not he was going to evolve Pikachu into Raichu. Because that episode, I don't know, it was kind of funny because of the fact that Pikachu goes into this long speech and nobody knows what he's saying except for Meowth. And then you get Meowth to translate. You're like, all right, so he's saying this. So I was like, thank you, Meowth, for being a Pokemon translator, because Ash looked like he kind of knew what he was saying. But the rest of us was like, all I'm hearing is Pikachu, Pikachu. And I'm just like, I don't know what you're saying, Pikachu, but I got it.
In that moment, you kind of don't have to, like, you kind of, obviously you don't understand what Folly Pikachu is saying, but then you kind of do know what Pikachu is saying.
Did I know what Pikachu was saying?
Yeah, because, you know, like, of how angry Pikachu sounded, you know that he was saying, I don't want to evolve. Why would you even consider this? You know, even when Meowth was like translating what Pikachu was saying and stuff, you kind of just knew of how Pikachu felt about the whole thing. The whole expression on its face was brilliant. So you could just tell. You could.
I think everyone also who's watched Pokemon for a long time now understands a lot of Pikachu's expressions. Like Pikachu, when you know he's gotten really frustrated, or like when he's like tired of like Ash's antics or whatever's going on, he's like, oh Pika. Like you totally hear it and you're just like, you can tell. Or like when he sees ketchup and his eyes just light up. Like I love that because Pikachu for some reason loves ketchup. And I was just like, this is hilarious. I loved it.
Yeah, definitely. And what was the second Pokemon? What was the second Pokemon question? Oh yeah. Who would be which Pokemon would be on your team? 6 Pokemon.
What 6 Pokemon would be on my team? I would
Yes,
want
your dream team, your
my
Pokemon
dream.
dream team.
I would want Pikachu, of course. I would have to have Squirtle. He was always my go-to in the originals for when I had to pick one of them. I would also have to choose probably. I'm gonna name some new ones too, just because I feel like that's okay. I would have to add on the Sylveon, the fairy evolved form of Eevee.
Oh yeah, I know Sylveon a lot. Oh, she's
Yes.
so well loved.
Oh, she's
Definitely.
so pretty. I,
I
I
know.
oh man, that's 3. I would definitely want to have Charizard on my team.
Oh yeah, Chari.
Gotta have him. I would love to have a. Um, oh man, I kind of want to go with a Jigglypuff. That's thing because
Jigglypuff.
but it got to be the Jigglypuff though from the show that had the marker that when people fell asleep, she wrote on everyone's faces. It has to be that specific Jigglypuff. And then for number 6, who can I think of? For number 6, ooh, let me think. Number 6, I'm gonna have to go with a legendary for number 6.
Ooh,
And
legendary.
I'm gonna go with a legendary for number 6, and I'm gonna go with Lugia for number 6.
Ah, yes, Lugia. Lugia again is another really well loved one. So interesting team. So your team is made up of we have Lugia, we have Charizard, we have Sylveon, and who were the other 3? Oh my god.
Pikachu and Squirtle.
That's an awesome team. I've known this is going to sound pretty not sad or lame, but I think to me it does. But I've known my team since I was 11. I think maybe one has changed on it, but I think on my team most of it is kind of old, really from the first 150 Pokemon. Most of them are, but I would have Starmie, the water Pokemon.
Oh.
Always loved Starmie. Always. I would have a newish kind of Pokemon. It's called Swallow. It's a flying type Pokemon. I
remember
Swallow. Definitely have that. I would have Neoqueen. Really love Neoqueen. Well, I think Neoqueen. It's definitely Neoqueen. I'm about to say Nidoqueen, but also, let's see, I would have Jolteon. Jolteon is my favorite Pokemon ever. There's like nothing that could replace it. I just don't know why it is. I'd have to have a Jolteon. Don't care what it would take. I'd have a Rapidash. I love Rapidash. Yes, and the final Pokemon. Ooh. This is a hard one. I would have a Bulbasaur. I would have to have a Bulbasaur.
Yay!
I love Bulbasaur so much. So yeah, that would be my team. Definitely. And I noticed somebody asked a question also. Blade asked any of our least favorite Pokemon. Ooh.
My least favorite Pokemon. I think the one I have that's for me that's my least favorite, and I think it's because of the show made it my least favorite, was probably Chikorita.
No!
I'm sorry.
Oh no!
Okay, Chikorita's very, very cute. Like, I found Chikorita very, very cute of a Pokemon. Do not get me wrong. Chikorita's adorable. Chikorita's adorable. But because of the show and how Chikorita was with Ash, I didn't like her.
Yeah.
I didn't like Chikorita. Because I think that's what blew it for me for Chikorita, was just because of how the show had Chikorita. But Chikorita was a very adorable Pokemon. Very adorable. But on that show, I was like,
no, get out of this podcast right now. I love my Chikorita. Love it. Anyway, let's see. Fine. I'm gonna pick one that you don't like then. Not that I would even know. But oh god. Quite a I don't know. There is quite a few. I never liked the Pokemon Skitty. It looks like a cat. I think that is a useless Pokemon. All it's good for is looking at because it's cute. That's it.
Yeah. That one was weird.
No, I don't like. That's my least favorite Pokemon, I would have to say, from off the top of my head.
Yeah.
I just never liked it. I thought it was a useless Pokemon.
I don't know. It was weird because of the name. So I was like, okay, so it's a cat, but then is it skittish?
Skitty. And yeah, I just don't like that Pokemon. Yeah. So, sorry if anyone likes Skitty in the chat.
There was one thing I want to know if I'm the only person that remembers this, and maybe this is going back kind of far for maybe some people, but maybe not a lot of people. There was a time frame where for Pokemon they had a contest for where kids could draw a Pokemon, name it, what like its moves were, to create a brand new Pokemon for the Pokemon series. I never knew like who won the contest or whatever, because my stupid self actually entered the contest, but I sent my thing in late, so it was after the contest was over, but I still sent it in anyway. And I came up with a Pokemon I called Faichu. It's supposed to be another evolved form after Raichu, but this time the Pokemon could have fighting moves similar to like Hitmonchan. And I based it off of a stuffed animal I had that looked like a Pikachu because it was yellow, but it had boxing gloves on it. And I based it off of that stuffed animal. And I'm wondering if anybody remembers that, because I mean that's going kind of far back. I was probably maybe 10-ish. Yeah, I was definitely probably 10 when that was out, and I was obsessed. I entered that contest. I didn't win it, obviously, but I still entered it.
You should have won it. What was it called again? Your creation.
I called it Faichu. Not very
Faichu.
good.
Everybody,
Faichu.
Remember this. Hashtag Faichu. Oh, that's funny. I like hearing all your little stories from your childhood, Shay. They're a lot more adventurous than mine, definitely. Definitely.
No, I'm sure yours are also adventurous. I have like some adventurous stories, but not a lot. I mean, I have a few. As a kid, I was very imaginative. I daydreamed a lot as a kid. I still daydream as an adult. Like I tell people all the time, I'm like, sometimes I tell people I need a more adultier adult because
I think Matt's already come up with the hashtag. It's gonna go around all Twitter now. Explosion.
Lord.
Oh my god, speaking of, that just reminded me of something. Explosion. Did you ever watch a series called Rave Master?
I did not. It sounds familiar.
It is. Like, it's about a guy named Haru, and he meets these other three along the way named Ellie and Musica, and Haru kind of has to search for these. I think they're stones from memory. It's been so long since I've seen the series, but he has to find all these different elements for his sword, his big ass sword. I can't remember the name of it, but he inherited it from his father, and he has to go around searching for these different like little pieces that give the sword a new ability. And I love the show. It's like got 50, how many episodes? oh God, I think there's more than 50 episodes of this series, and it used to stream a lot on Cartoon Network, mainly a lot. Oh my God, I loved it so much. And I rewatched, I watched the entire series, I remember, on oh God, I remember when I think I watched it on YouTube. Rewatched it about 3 or 4 years ago now, I reckon it was. And yeah, I reckon you'd enjoy the series, Shay, I reckon. But the problem, I've got like the problem was when it got licensed to have a DVD release, they only licensed the first 12 episodes, and so in the entire world there is only 3 volumes of Rave Master that you can barely find. I have the imported versions. I do. I've like the first 3, and it made me really sad because I thought and you can only watch the rest of the dub, I think, on I don't know where you can watch it now. I haven't searched that up for so long, but yeah, no one ever talks about Rave Masters, so and I'm currently I've started reading the long manga at the moment because I know the manga's supposed to be really good. So yes, I just wondered. So that was just another show I grew up with. It was.
Oh. I'm trying to think what other shows I grew up watching. I honestly, as a kid, I watched a lot of the mainstream shows as a kid. A lot of them. I really didn't get out of the more mainstream ones until I basically got into college, because when I kind of started back watching it, I started back watching stuff that was very nostalgic for me. So like I like binge watched Sailor Moon, because as a kid, like everyone knows, like I said before, Sailor Moon was the first show that I watched, but it was also a show that I never actually finished. Because I got very confused as a kid at one point going between season 1 and season 2. Because when they fought Queen Beryl and then they came back and it was like they lost their memories, I was so confused. I'm like, that's it? It's over?
I know.
But I was confused. I remember.
Yeah, because
it was just confusing.
It was. I only remember seeing the ending of Sailor Moon. I never saw kind of in between of how it got to that point. And I never saw it beyond that point. So when I moved, like when I was saying earlier, like I moved countries and I met my old best friend, and we marathoned the whole entire series of Sailor Moon. You know, it finally made sense. I'm like, that's what happened. Like,
that's how it was.
You know, hate that moment where you're just left with all these unanswered questions, or you haven't seen a certain slot of an anime, and it just frustrates the hell out of you. It does.
Yes, that's how it was for me.
Oh, I had that so badly. And then I found out beyond that, there was Sailor Moon movies, and then there was like a Sailor Super S series. There was the Sailor Stars. I'm like, oh!
See, I had the movies. As a kid, I had Sailor Moon R, The Promise of the Rose, and Sailor Moon Super S, Hearts and Ice. Both those movies, I actually have them on VHS. But I don't have the very last Sailor Moon movie. I could never actually find it. For those of you who are around my age, which is I'm about to be 26 this year.
I'm 26.
You're 26? I will be 26 in September.
I'm December.
You're December. Oh, I am September. When Blockbuster was out, when Blockbuster was still around, I had actually Blockbuster. It was a video store.
Yeah, we have it here in Australia. It's really just shutting down.
Yeah, for us, it shut down years ago. Blockbuster went out of business, but years before it went out of business, I had actually ended up finding the VHS movies for Sailor Moon at a Blockbuster, and that's how I got them. But I was obsessed with those movies. Like, I still have Sailor Moon R, and I'm still obsessed with that movie. Like, if I could watch it over and over, if I had a VHS player, I would. Yeah, I finally got a chance to watch like all the seasons, and I even got to watch the elusive, Sailor Moon Stars that was never released in the States, and you can only watch the subtitle because there was no dub. And when I watched it, I was probably like maybe like 19 or 18 when I finally saw like the entire series of Sailor Moon, and I got a chance to see how the voices changed because I watched it dubbed, because I couldn't watch a subtitle because I grew up watching the dub. So I could only picture those voices in my head. So when I watched it dub, I then realized when you get to like Sailor Moon S or Super S, the voices all
Yeah,
changed, and
they
they
do.
explained why
I
they
didn't
changed.
like I didn't like Makoto's new voice. Screw it.
Yeah,
No.
like I think they said reason why the voices changed was that one of the actresses went on maternity leave, so they had to find
Yeah,
her a replacement. And then the
I
voices
know.
for two of the characters switched. Like one character, instead of her playing Mercury, she now voiced Mars, and it was like really really weird. Or she voiced Venus. Like it was very weird.
Yeah,
And then I wanted to. I was trying to think of, well, why isn't season 5 dubbed? And I ended up having to like Wikipedia it, and basically it said all the English speaking countries lost the rights to Sailor Moon, so they could not dub it. And I was like, dang, now I gotta watch it subtitled. But the subtitled wasn't bad, you know. I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed watching it and actually seeing an ending to this show. And then of course I read the manga like everyone else when the manga started to be re-released, because I wanted to read it as well to see how different it was, you know, or if it was different.
yeah. And I haven't seen Sailor Stars or like kind of beyond that point, and I didn't like it when it was released. There was going to be a new, like, there was a new kind of like North America, new Sailor Moon cast that was announced, and they
Yeah.
redid, and I want to buy the box sets that have come out, but I am just so hesitant because, I'm an old school anime lover. I'm an old school. Like I love the original Sailor Moon dub, and I don't think I'm gonna I don't think I'm gonna end up liking like the new Sailor Moon dub they made, and I can't bring myself to buy it. I'm like,
I
no, can't.
I have purchased them. I have them. I even
Oh
pre-ordered.
really?
Yes, I have bought the new box sets because I've watched it dubbed on Hulu, and because they have the new Viz dub on Hulu, and it's not bad. I think the thing is though is that it's different. I think it's mostly for all of us who watched the original, with why for me definitely it's so different. And the biggest
Yeah.
thing for me though is the fact they have a lot of the voices that are in the show are from other shows that I've watched as well. So for any of you guys who are fans of the anime Bleach, the girl that voices Orihime, Stephanie Shay, she voices Usagi in the new dub of Sailor Moon, but she also voiced Orihime in Bleach. Um, the Michelle Ruff who voiced Rukia in Bleach voices Luna in the dub as well. And then of course you have Johnny Young Bosch who voiced Ichigo in Bleach, who voices Artemis. So for me, it's a weird way in my head. I feel like I'm watching Bleach, but flipped, because I feel like I'm watching a girl version
Sounds
of
really
Bleach
weird.
now with
Sounds
Luna
really
advising, Usagi, and it's like Rukia's advising Orihime. So that's my brain did those kind of things. But it's still a good show. I think it's just in my head though. I still kind of hear the old voices in my head though. Like it's hard for me to watch Sailor Moon, and also especially with Luna, because Luna had that, that older English woman's voice in my head, and now
Yeah,
it's not that.
she had a very proper English voice. She did. It
Very.
was very high and proper, and that added some very charisma, personality to Luna's character, which is why I feel that, that's what makes Luna memorable. That does for
Yeah.
a lot of people. So she had that class. Luna had class. This new voice for Luna does not have that class. So
Yeah, it doesn't sound that scratchy, and that
yeah,
it doesn't have that.
she don't got that thing. If you don't have that
No.
thing, you don't have that thing.
No, but it's still, I would say definitely at least watch the first episode to get a feel for it.
Yeah, I suppose
And
so. I guess
that's what I would say. But it feels good to see some of the the episodes that I've like loved watching too as a kid, and things like that. And just I don't know, just all that nostalgia is still there. And
yeah,
then with Sailor Moon
I guess
Crystal, And then not only that, but they're also going to re-release and dub the movies as well. And that's what I'm super excited about, because I'm like, these movies were awesome. But then it makes me
Yeah,
wonder if
they
they're going
do.
to keep the same music that they had for the
Yeah.
movies.
No, they have to keep. They have to keep. So they have to keep some of the music. They do. Definitely. Especially they have to keep the moon revenge music piece for when they're on the
Yes.
asteroid and they're hurtling towards Earth. That song cannot it has
Oh,
to
that
be
song I have on my phone, and I'm
I love
obsessed
it.
with it. It is on my phone. I have that song. But that's I say give it a shot. I mean, it's the same thing with most of us when Sailor Moon Crystal
Yeah.
came out, and we were all like,
Okay. Okay, all right. Next episode we do. I by then I will have watched the first episode of the new English dub for Sailor Moon, and I'll give my verdict then.
and
How
for
does that?
me, I will have watched season 3 of Sailor Moon Crystal, because I haven't yet watched it. I've watched the first 2 seasons, and I wasn't the hugest fan of them, but I heard
I
season 3
haven't.
is
Oh,
amazing,
I
and I need
haven't.
to watch
Yeah,
it.
I haven't seen the third season of Sailor Moon Crystal yet. Not
It's
yet, but
it
now I
is
can watch it.
it's okay.
It's
I'll say that.
okay. Oh,
It was different, just because I was expecting a lot, and I think the biggest thing was that a lot of people were saying it was mostly supposed to be based off of the manga. But my biggest thing with that show, and I did a review on it. It's one of the first reviews I did for my channel when I first came out with
yes,
it, and
remember.
yeah, and I had said that it was hard for me to, as a kid, the biggest thing about watching Sailor Moon, especially as the older ones, was that you were able to pick out, if you had a group of friends, which of your friends was which Sailor Scout. And I felt like with Sailor Moon Crystal, you weren't able to do that because you didn't get to see all their different personalities. They all kind of was the same except for Usagi. And
Yeah,
that was one of the things that turned me off. And I was like, eh.
I do feel some of the scouts were kind of like porcelain dolls. Even my Makoto is still badass, but she's still a bit.
She is really, she's badass. Even in the original, I love Makoto, but it was just like you had a friend that was like that. So you're like, you're totally her. For me, I was like either Amy, or I was more so like Sailor Moon, but I also loved Mars as well. But like it's weird. I like Sailor Moon because she was a princess, and I'm obsessed with princesses. So I was just like, I'm going to be Sailor Moon. Because I liked how ditzy kind of Sailor Moon was, but I loved how loyal she was to her friends and her family. Like when she needed
Yeah.
to be like a boss or like a leader, like she could do it. She could hold it down. But I also loved how childish she was, and how she had this childlike wonder of how she saw the world, and she always saw the good in people. And that was what I liked about her so much.
Yeah, Lita from when Lita like first, appeared on the screen to me, Jupiter Comes Thundering In, that episode I was like sold. I was.
Mm-hmm.
And and ever since then, that's she's been my favorite female character ever. I don't think anyone's ever going to be able to replace her, and I don't want them to, because like obviously Lita, she can cook where I can't. All I can cook is measly like boiled eggs, and I'm serious. I can't even cooking a whole chicken. I'll friggin' burn it, and she was just back then a character that I could like look up to, and still even now feel a lot more confident and stuff. And yeah, so no one's gonna replace the leader. No. Even though I'm not
I
her, and I call myself her for the YouTube, I'm not her.
I can be honest and say that I've had a couple of characters, well, maybe one in particular, replace Usagi. Usagi's still always going to be one of my favorite characters, but personality-wise, I've had a character
Nana,
replace her.
I can feel Nana coming.
Yes. Oh God, everyone knows I'm like obsessed with that anime. I still love it,
I've known you too long now.
and it's always not a uh. I always mix up their last names, but it's the one that is the rock star. I love
Yeah,
her
that Nana.
personality. She's I think her last name is Osaki. Osaki's probably her, I think that's her last name. I don't think it's Nana Komatsu. I think it's Nana Osaki is the one that I like a lot. She's because she's such a hard ass. I love it. She's such a badass throughout the entire show, but she has this soft spot that not many people get to see, and this like kind of a little bit of this chip on her shoulder, but she has all this confidence in the world, and I just love it because I'm like, dang, I wish I was that badass as her, you know. But I just love it. But she's also very caring for all of her friends as well, which is kind of like how her and Usagi are kind of alike. But the fact that she's just so confident is what I loved about Nana Osaki. But it took me a long time to watch Nana, that show as a series as a whole. It took me a while to actually decide to finally watch it. And the manga itself was utterly amazing. I just wished it was finished because there's so many unanswered questions that I need answered.
Yeah, I think you talked about that in a very recent video. I think. Oh wait, no, it was your non-5 stages.
Oh yeah, the 5 stages of non-continued anime.
Yeah.
That was a fun video to record. I loved recording that video.
Yeah, you reminded me I can actually record shit on my iPhone. That's what it's still. Yeah, I technically have another recording device technically. All right, so I think we'll talk about probably a couple more. I think a couple more shows.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think a couple. Obviously, we haven't mentioned a big one, which is Dragon Ball Z.
Oh yes, I love Dragon Ball Z. Oh man, when they re-released the box sets from Funimation of seasons like 1 through a million, I think I have seasons 1 through 8 or 9 on DVD, and I'm obsessed. I love Dragon Ball Z. It's the first one of the first shows I watched where there was so many guys in that show that I was just like, I don't know which one I have a crush on. Oh my god, they're all so amazing. But I loved it. And I grew up watching fighting shows as a whole for anime. Besides Sailor Moon, all the other shows I really watched were geared toward guys.
Shay's a fighter. She's in the fighting cage ring.
I'm in the fighting cage ring, but don't try and hit me because I will run away. I will run away.
That's all right. You're like my partner. He's a lover, not a fighter. Only if it demands it.
No, but
yeah. I'm actually looking on the Twitter feed. Speaking of what we're talking about now, it's like 5 minutes until Toonami. Dragon Ball Z Kai is up first. I'm so jealous of you, American people.
I don't know why. And I feel like Dragon Ball Z is also that show besides Pokemon that's never going to die. Like I'll be honest, I feel like that show's going to be around forever because it always either comes back out with some kind of new series or a new video game or just something that's Dragon Ball Z related. And I can't help but like Dragon Ball Z. I even have read Dragon Ball Z fan fiction.
Oh really? Yeah, I'm still into that phase of reading fan fiction.
Oh, I still read fan fiction.
I know I still do, but I think maybe too much Beyblade fan fiction took up a majority of my childhood for certain. I even wrote my own, and I still have that whole long notepad of my bloody story in my drawer.
Oh man.
But yeah, who was your favorite Dragon Ball Z guy?
My favorite Dragon Ball Z guy. I have a few. I loved Goku. Just because he's that all-around good character, and he's hard not to like. I like that he was super duper goofy half the time, and I love that he like ate tons of food all the time.
Yeah,
and he was just so goofy. Yeah, but he was also really strong.
I know. I've met the voice actor of him twice now.
Oh, that's so lucky.
First time I met him, he was on bad jet lag and he was quite grumpy, I have to be honest. But then the second time around he came back to Australia, it was a better experience.
Oh, good.
So, I
No, I liked him.
it was yeah, I have to say yes, Goku was for a majority of my childhood, he was a favorite. But
Yeah,
someone's replaced him now, and I
I
can't
like.
believe he's replaced him.
Is it Vegeta?
Yeah, because
Oh, I love Vegeta. I'm sorry, he's so bad.
I used to hate him, but as you know, as you grow older, you begin to learn to appreciate and see all these different qualities in these characters you wouldn't have seen when you're like 10 years
Hmm.
old, 11. And pardon me. And
It's okay.
now I just love Vegeta. What sold me on his character was when I was trying to catch up with Dragon Ball Z Super. I'm still so behind right now, but it was when he got like I find one of those most oddest couples in anime is Bulma and Vegeta. I
Yep.
always will. Don't know how they work, and when Vegeta just lost his shit, when Bulma got slapped by oh god, what's his name?
Wasn't it Beerus?
Pardon?
Wasn't
I've
it Beerus?
yes,
Battle of the
Beerus.
Gods. Yeah.
He got slapped and he lost his shit. I just my eyes like rolled back and I just started laughing hilariously because I don't think I'd ever seen obviously Vegeta that angry before. So oh god. Jiro the Hero is like it's bad boy gone good. Yeah,
Yes.
maybe that's what that's what it was. But second in line is Trunks.
I
Oh
love
yeah,
Trunks.
oh yeah, father to son, yeah.
I liked Trunks because when he first came on the scene, when he came back from the future and he was talking to Goku, that was my favorite, especially when Goku had asked him like, "Who's your mom and dad?" And he said, "They're over there." And then he said, "Who?" And he said, "Bulma and Vegeta." And he was like, "What?" That's like one of my favorite episodes was when Trunks revealed that to Goku, and Goku
Oh, I
went
know. It's oh
nuts.
god,
Like,
it's so
oh my god.
nostalgic.
Yes, that was. I also
That
liked
was funny.
Gohan, but like teen Gohan. I didn't like
Yeah,
young
I
Gohan.
like Teen Gohan. Yeah, I loved it when he lost his shit.
Me too.
With Cell, of course.
Yes. Yes.
Awesome. The episode he finally unleashed his secret power and just I remember the scowl on his face. It kind of scared me a little. Like while I was watching it for the first time, I was actually feeling a little scared. I was like,
Yeah.
"Where's my sweet Gohan? Where's my sweet Gohan gone?"
Nope.
So it was nice to see that side of him, and that's after that, it made me love his character like even more. It did. So I think most of the male characters Dragon Ball Z, I think they're all quite really likable. I don't think I've ever heard anyone say that they didn't like a particular character, like one of the guy characters. Obviously, I've heard quite a few people, it's so common to say they hate Goku because he's like uninteresting, he's too laid back. And I'm like, well, you don't see the greatness that is Goku. So.
Right. I think the only character I've heard some people say that they weren't a huge fan of sometimes was Krillin, just because he died all the time,
Yeah.
kind
Oh
of.
no.
And then
Oh,
that's
spoiler,
only
spoiler. Hope you're not spoiling that for anybody. Sorry. There,
I,
the
I apologize if that's a spoiler, but
oh well.
I apologize. But it
We can
also came out such a long time ago that's hard not to say it or people not to know.
yeah, so like
Kind
that,
of.
yeah.
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 But like also I've heard people say also kind of Chaozu, the little clown character.
Meowsy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard people say they weren't a huge fan of him because people are like, I don't get why he's there. Some people have said that. They're like,
He
I
was
don't.
like this puppet clown thing that I never understood
Yeah.
of what he was.
And then they also said Yamcha. They said Yamcha at first started out okay, but they said as he with the show progressed, they said he got more and more weak,
Useless. Yeah. I
useless
have to
as
say
the
he was a bit
term.
weak and useless. Sorry to say to
Yeah, he
Yamcha
started
fans,
out
but
pretty
yeah.
cool. He started out pretty cool, like when he was like
Yeah, he
dating,
did.
still
He
kind of dating
did.
Bulma, and then as soon as it got to like when Frieza was about to show up, or the not Frieza, the androids showed up,
Yeah.
he kind of became like, I'm not going. Bye.
Yeah.
Became a little bit more useless.
Sorry, Yamcha. And
Sorry. Plus,
I wish.
you lost your girlfriend. So the most evil man in the world, Vegeta. I'm still trying to figure that out. You lost your girlfriend.
Yeah, there was more overhaul male characters, obviously, more than female characters, but I always love Bulma.
Me
Bulma is
too.
very lovable. She just had the spunk factor. She reminded of me in a few ways of when I get mildly angry, also,
Yeah.
if I get annoyed.
That's why I also really liked Bulma too. Because Bulma also she was super smart and she was able to like be rough and tumble with all the boys. And she was able to, hold her own, and she wasn't afraid of anything. Like she stood up to Beerus and she didn't care, until she got,
Yeah, she
slapped.
may have been, yeah, she may have been like, made people have said, a really whiny, whining character most of the time. But, I feel like I feel like her character grew as the series went on, and now in Dragon Ball Z Super, like, I liked her just that little bit more I did, so,
Yeah.
which was good.
I think the only character I kind of didn't like, I guess, would probably have to, like, as female characters are concerned, would probably be Chi-Chi. I liked Chi-Chi,
I
but I
know,
didn't. It's like she
Chi-Chi
was
and it, like,
funny, but then in some ways I
yeah.
was just like, you're a fighter. Like, I understand you're also a mom now,
I
and a
know
wife.
there had to be a character like that for that series,
Yeah.
particularly
But she was
if
funny. Whenever
being
she's the only one I've seen Goku be legitimately afraid of. And that was one reason why I like really liked her. She was the only one I really saw that Goku was definitely afraid of, fearing her wrath. Like, oh my god, like I can't get her mad.
I know, but like she looks so much older than Goku, like throughout the whole entire series of
Yeah, it makes
DBZ.
me wonder if she was already older than Goku during the series. As someone I wasn't someone that really watched the Dragon Ball series.
Yeah, I've only seen like a little bit of Dragon Ball. I've never seen
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Z. I've only seen a little bit of Dragon Ball.
Yeah, I'm more so caught up with Dragon Ball Z as a kid, not so much Dragon Ball, but it also makes me wonder with the whole aging process for Saiyans, you know,
Yeah.
because like
Oh.
how do they age? Like, will Chi Chi die before Goku? Like, or is I I feel like I'm now getting into more of other animes and stuff that people have thought up of via like fan fiction of like, or is like her life now linked to his, that as long as he's alive, she's alive and they won't change, or is their aging process different? Like that's what I wonder.
We'll never we'll never know. We can only
We
make
won't.
certain hypotheses of.
Yes, and for those of you guys who are wondering where I'm getting that thinking from, I'm getting that thinking from a lot of fan fiction I read involving Inuyasha. And that is always a concept that comes up in a realm of Inuyasha fan fiction of linking their lifelines to each other, and that's why I thought of that for Dragon Ball Z. Sorry, deviated briefly.
No, no, that's fine. I think Dragon Ball Z will be around for still a long, long time. You never know. It's
Oh, yes,
second in
definitely
line
not
to
going
Pokemon.
anywhere.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, so I think way earlier you asked me about like Digimon. We didn't really touch on the subject of Digimon much, did we?
Mm-hmm. No, not a whole lot. We went to talk about the movie, and then we kind of stopped there.
Shay went on a Pokemon rampage.
I did.
um, I loved. Oh well, of course, the original Digimon will always be the best, and
Mm-hmm.
I did like the second season as well. But after that, I don't like any of the other Digimons. I'm like, no,
I
no.
I think when I kind of lost interest a lot with Digimon was once the Digi Destined were the Digimon themselves. That's when it got weird, and that's when I was like, I think they're running out of ideas. That's when I
Yeah.
kind of lost interest. But I also really only watched, honestly, probably I didn't even really finish the first season of Digimon. Like I watched episodes here and there, and then I enjoyed the movie a lot, but I wasn't like hardcore, like I have to watch it every day.
I can't even remember the movie. It's been so long
Oh,
since
I remember the movie.
Yeah.
I remember the concept of the movie. I remember thinking this was a long movie because it went from where, if anybody who's seen the Digimon movie, is basically there's a Digimon that gets released onto the internet and it's causing havoc, and basically Ty and Matt basically are the ones that end up saving everything, and then it fast forwards like maybe like 10 years or so into the future, and then it's like the Pokemons showed up kind of, or something else ends up going on, and now it's up to like Kari and all them for the second part of that movie. It was a long movie though. Like I felt like it went on for a long time. Like I felt like
I felt some of it was a bit dark. Blade's just mentioning that now. Yeah, I felt like the movie it got quite a bit dark, and almost not say, it's full psychological, but there was a little bit of psychological like element in there, like the tiniest bit. So like when it came to like the bits, I think with Ty and it's her I think his sister, I think, but again, I haven't seen the movie for so long. So yeah, did you have a favorite Digimon?
I liked oh man, I liked Agumon a lot, just because Agumon was kind of funny, and then I also he was hilarious. I feel like him and Ty were so alike that it was fun to watch them interact with each other. And I also really liked Kari's not Pokemon. Oh my god, Digimon. This is where my thinking goes. Kari's Digimon. Kari's Digimon, which I can't remember her name. I know it was a cat. And I know when Kari's Digimon, I know Kari and TK's Digimon. Huh?
It's Gatomon.
Gatomon, there we go. I liked Gatomon as well. And I remember hers when her Digimon would digivolve, or however the term was, that I can't remember, it would turn into like a humanoid form, and it was hers and TK's that were the only ones that could do that, and they were very, very powerful. And they were definitely my favorite.
I think one of my favorites was Palamon, Mimi's. Mimi's a Digimon, and I also did it really. Of course, I like Gatomon. I think I liked all of them. It was really, really hard to kind of like pick a favorite. I've cosplayed as Kari before.
Oh wow!
I wanted to do like a teenage version, but only ended up doing a child version. It was all like last minute trying to organize everything. But yeah. Speaking of Digimon, I watched this hilarious video on Facebook the other day that somebody had made a version called using Pokemon trainers while the Digimon opening theme was playing. It was so well done. It was so funny. I'm like, this is just weird. Like Pokemon with the Digimon opening theme. It was really weird. But
that'd be an awesome crossover. Yeah, I would love it.
And I still haven't seen any of the Digimon Tri that's come out. I still haven't seen it.
I'm excited about it though. I know they're supposed to be doing a movie coming out in September. I'm super excited for it.
What I was most excited for, they're doing a dub. Like they're doing the dub for it. I'm like, yes. Of course it had to happen.
Like I said, as someone who's very perpetually lazy last time when it comes to anime, if there's a dub out of a show, I'm probably gonna watch the dub. Especially if they're going to come out with one. Yeah. And I knew with this one, they were going to have to come out with a dub at some point, because there's so many people that were obsessed with Digimon when it was first came out in the 90s, and for it to re-release and come out again. That's one of the things that I figured was going to happen. I also wonder if anybody picked up on this to see if this was a slight Digimon reference. It was, if anybody out there has seen the movie Summer Wars.
I have.
When I watched the movie Summer Wars, I was very, very reminiscent of the Digimon movie, because it had a lot of the same concepts. And I'm watching it going, I feel like I'm watching the Digimon movie. Like, that's what I
I
felt when I
can't.
watched Clone Wars.
I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that movie in so long. I haven't. It's another movie I know I need to like
Rewatch.
rewatch.
Mm-hmm.
Rewatch all the nostalgia. But yeah,
Yes.
like I've got all the Digimon, the very first season and then the second season. I'm thinking about getting maybe the next one after that, which I think I don't know if Kari, I think Kari and some other characters are still in the third season. I don't remember. I have to, Google it. So okay, so probably talk about maybe like one more, I reckon. I
Yeah.
think it's been like 2 hours. Wow, 2 hours and 15 minutes. Woohoo! For anyone who's for anyone who's been here since the beginning, my hat's off to you.
Right. Thank you guys
um
for sticking around.
well, we can say two. I reckon Beyblade and Sonic X. I know, well, like I'm gonna say Sonic X is like an anime.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know if anyone could say that, but I really did grow up with that show. I did. So yeah, have to
I
talk about Sonic X.
I I kind of watched Sonic as a kid, but I was more so obsessed with the video games than I was the show.
Yeah, which is understandable, like
Yeah, I
Sonic
grew up more
video
with the
games,
video
and they're
games
like,
than the show. I hear the new Sonic show is like hilarious. Like Knuckles sounds like a total dummy.
oh, is it Sonic Boom? Or what's it called?
Sonic Boom. It's called Sonic Boom. I think the new
Oh,
one out is called
no,
Sonic Boom.
no, no.
No,
I hate that show. I don't
you
like that
don't
version
like
of
it.
Sonic.
I haven't. I've only seen like really like a clip of Sonic Boom, and I was watching it, and I was like, I find Knuckles so funny because he's so dumb. And I loved it.
He's so
And the
dumb.
thing was, I had like many people know I love to watch panels on YouTube of like anime conventions where some of my favorite voice actors will go, and I will probably not see them there, but people will record the panels. And it was a panel where it was Travis Willingham's panel, and he voices Knuckles in Sonic Boom. And they had asked him about how to voice Knuckles, and he was like, he's voiced Knuckles before for series kind of, and so he said, well, he's like, how about I play him dumb? And then they thought he wasn't serious or something like that. He was like, no, he's like, how about I play him dumb, like a total jock, and he's just really stupid. And they tried it and it worked, and I was just like, that is genius. I love that because I just love it. I'm like, because when I played the Sonic games before, when Knuckles was first introduced, like I liked Knuckles, but then I was just like, he's not Sonic, but it was oh man, I love the fact that he's just dumb. I love dumb characters because they're that total like they're like that comedic relief, especially when one character is super smart and the other one's super dumb. It's like Pinky in the Brain.
Like Pinky in the Brain. I grew up with Sonic X show a lot, and I recently found out, like in September, Discotech is licensed. They're licensing Sonic X and they're bringing it out on DVD, and you have no idea how much over the moon I was because I've never seen the whole entire show. I remember only seeing like little snippets of like episodes here and there, like a Cartoon Network and stuff, and I was just so excited. I'm like, I'm getting the American release. I was like, thank you, Discotech. I said it on Twitter, and then they liked my tweet. I was like, yay! So it's really, really exciting. I've waited years for this. You guys have no idea. You'll have no idea. So,
Yes.
sometimes you'll have those experiences. You'll be waiting for something to be announced or come out, whatever, and nobody's gonna know that feeling. When you say you have no idea, I'm sure you've experienced that. Everybody's experienced that
Yeah,
feeling.
of course. Whenever something comes out that I've been waiting on, I've like been over the moon. Like when they first announced they were doing a new Sailor Moon series, oh my god, I must have was like over the moon. I was like, oh my god, and then it took like 3 years for it to come out, so I was like, oh my god.
I know you need like your outlet like Twitter or YouTube or whatever just to vent about this stuff if you don't have anyone else to like vent with. But I think there's one last show we're going to talk about, and I think it's one that we both love. It's Beyblade spinning tops.
I will be completely honest with you. I have maybe seen half an episode of Beyblade. It was not a show.
You never told me that.
I was really not a show I watched. Like, okay, I knew of the toys. So this okay. So as you guys can like a running theme for me is that I came across more shows through toys or other aspects than the actual show itself. So the Beyblade, I knew of the toys, and I thought the toys were so cool because you like pulled the what I don't even know what the thing is called, but the little red ripcord, and it would just spin, and basically I know the premise of what the show is like about. So I think they're battling with the tops, and a monster comes out of the tops, and they battle each other, and then whichever one stops spinning first or gets beaten, the other person loses. Correct?
Yeah, that's correct. And I think we did talk about a while back about I think our favorite we think we were fans of Kai, or quite a few people were a fan of Kai. I certainly was. He was my first anime crush ever, and he still is. I still have the drawing I did of him when I was like 9, sitting on my door. I dated it. It was on the 25th of the 3rd, 06. So I drew it back in 2006. My God. And I laminated it to make sure that it wouldn't get ruined. But yeah, I really did grow up with Beyblade. It was a major, huge part of my childhood, more than Dragon Ball Z. More than Dragon Ball Z. Oh God.
Oh man, Dragon Ball Z, everyone's gonna so nostalgic.
Yeah, this has all been like really, really nostalgic. It has. And
I know.
I think we had an interesting question when I was talking about Twitter. Devin asks, have you guys ever had any tweets liked or retweeted by any like voice actors or actresses? Yes, recently we had the convention I attended a couple of weeks ago. Caitlin Glass was there. Mostly you'll know the voice. She'll be known for the voice of Winry from the Full Metal Alchemist dub. And also obviously Haruhi from Auron.
Yes.
You know? And she liked 5 of my tweets. And I didn't even only mentioned her in one. And the rest of them were all kind of like hashtags, and she liked all of them. That was all in one day. And I'm like, oh, okay. I think I've had one tweet liked by Monica Rial as well. That's all from my memory, I think. Yeah. So that was cool. Have you had that happen to you, Shay?
I have. I've had where it was Laura Bailey. She liked one of my tweets when I was at a convention last year, and I had posted a picture that I ended up being able to take with her. And I also took one with Travis and one with Johnny, and she liked it when I posted it on Twitter. I've also had, and this was before I kind of like knew who she was, and I realized how big of a deal she was.
Yeah.
I had Tara Platt follow me on Twitter, and I was just like freaked out because I was like, oh my God, she doesn't follow me anymore, but she followed me on Twitter. I don't know if it was this Twitter or a different Twitter handle I had at one point, but I had where she followed me on Twitter, and then I realized like who she was, and I was like, this is so cool. Like, she follows me on Twitter.
Yeah, I think I remember her. She does sound familiar to me. She was most who did she? I think I remember her voice for
Tamari in Tamari. I think she voiced Tamari in Naruto.
And yes, and she was also Toru Honda from Fruit Baskets. That's why she's very familiar to me.
Oh yeah, Laura Bailey was the voice actress for Toru Honda, and she also voiced Lust in FMA.
Yes, yeah, I loved her as Lust. I
Oh, me
really
too.
did.
I love hearing.
Really captured that. I felt like she really did capture that dark emotion that Lust came with,
Yes.
like her real like package and that. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
I
It's
also
great.
loved hearing her when they come out with FMA Brotherhood. And this is a spoiler, but I'm sorry to say it because the show's been out for a while, so it's hard for me not to say it. But when they came out with Brotherhood, and it was Travis Willingham, her husband, voiced uh, Colonel Roy Mustang, and it was the
Oh,
epic.
really?
Yes, so it was an epic battle between Lust and Roy in Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. And I remember when they found out
That's
about that,
hilarious.
he like tortured her about it. And then I
Oh
remember when
my
she said
gosh.
she recorded it, she called him because she had to scream so much while they were battling. And she called her and her voice was just gone. And he was like, and then when he had to record it, he called and was like, I'm recording it. And she was like, I hate you. And I was just like, I love
Oh,
that.
oh, that's funny. Well, I've only seen the original Full Metal Alchemist at the moment. I've got to still see Full Metal
You have
Alchemist
to see,
Brotherhood. So
you
yes,
gotta see
I know I'm
Brotherhood.
gonna
It's
have the
so good.
chance now. Now that I have the chance, it's like now there's this now is the compelling question that every anime fan hates is like, what am I gonna watch next? Because currently at the moment I'm watching I'm trying to finish Akagami Shiriki Heim season 2. It's taken me
Mm-hmm.
like all week. I've still made no headway because all the interruptions. But yeah, hopefully I'll get to watch Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Hopefully. So whenever that happens, definitely. Wow. So we've been running. Wow, nearly 2 hours and a half.
Oh my god. This is what happens every single time. Last time we did a live stream, this happened as well.
I
We
know
went
that was like three. That was like 3. Yeah, that was about like 3 hours.
that
I think
was.
that was the very first time we ever spoke. And now you're just gonna have to speak to me a lot more now
I know.
since you're a part of this podcast and stuff.
But it's
Um,
amazing. It's so much fun.
yeah, but I think as I was saying in the beginning of when we started this podcast, we're still working when we do like podcast episodes. I'm still got to work out like when we can fit it into like our schedules and stuff. Really
Yeah.
would like it to be weekly, but we just got to obviously work around our work schedules and stuff and time zones, and I'm sure we're able to. But yeah, I've been thinking about creating a Twitter for our podcast so you guys can get all the updates on there instead of like just on my Twitter. So after this, I'm gonna be creating a Twitter later on today for our podcast. So it's easy to keep. If you guys want to follow us on there, you can like keep up with all our updates and stuff. So I'm going to do that. So we've got some sort of outlet for people so they know what's going on and stuff.
Yep.
So I'll definitely do that. And can't really tell you guys what we're going to be discussing next in our next episode. I'll probably just tweet that because we haven't really decided because all this first podcast was so like unorganized. So unorganized. I hate being unorganized. That's just me though. But yeah, but definitely I'll be creating a new Twitter account for us. I'll get onto that and I'll be probably putting a link to that in my own Twitter and stuff. But if I think we're going to wrap up this podcast, I reckon, because I'm losing my voice nearly now.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. I hope you did, and I hope Shay enjoyed it as well.
I had so much fun. I love this.
Yeah, it's probably gonna take us a while to kind of get used to this, and like, yeah, I'm still gonna get used to how you do podcasts and stuff. But I am looking at the moment to like possibly do like a SoundCloud for us as well. But yeah, so I don't, yeah, I know podcasts are like really, really hard and stuff, but I've still just got to do like some research into it and that. But yeah, look, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, our very first episode. And all the links you guys will need to follow us will be in the description down below, which I still haven't put all of them yet. But thank you for everyone that's come to our podcast today. And we'll see you guys later. We'll see you in the next episode. I will announce it on our new Twitter account and stuff. All right.
Bye,
I hope you guys again enjoyed.
Thank
We'll see you
you.
guys next time. Senshi Annie girls are out.
Bye.
Bye.